Hello, and welcome to Healing Conversations. I'm Dr. Alex, and I wanted to continue the conversation about faith. The camera cut off the last time, and I wanted to talk to you all about a story about faith and how we exercise faith at times when we don't really know everything. We might not know how to actually do it, but when we're believing in something and we're convicted that something can happen, then we exercise that faith. So anyway, there's a story about a mother who had a little girl. And this little girl, when she was about, let's say, 5 through age 7, she didn't talk much. She was very quiet, and she would do humming sounds, or she was very muted a lot of times, and she would do rocking motions, and she would have different things little idiosyncrasies that she would do all the time. And when she was in preschool, a private preschool at that, the teacher actually told the mother that she was MR, that basically she could not learn, and that basically this is how she was going to remain for the rest of her life. But her mother, she believed something differently. She knew that her child was smart, and she knew her child could learn. So therefore, she pulled her child out of that school, and later on, she moved her child to a new area. Later, she hired a tutor for after school. Even though she had a minimal salary, she worked extra hours to be able to pay the tutor for after school tutoring, because her child could not even read. I believe her child was having problems seeing the words correctly. But later on, we would know that that's sort of like a learning disability or something. So aside from that, the thing that I want to focus on in this story is that the mother was so convicted, because she could have just said okay and accepted whatever the teacher said about her child, but she refused to accept what the teacher was saying about her child. She said, no, my child is smart, she's brilliant, and I know that she can learn. So because I know that she can learn, this is what I'm going to do. And so she took action by hiring a tutor and working extra hours to get her child to be able to have the services that she needed to learn. So the long story of it all is that the child actually began to learn. She did learn. She began to excel at a lot of things in school, and she did really well. She actually ended up becoming a doctor, and she became she excelled in her class, and she ended up going to Ivy League, and she just turned out way better than what her teachers had predicted and what the teachers had told her mom. And so what if the mother did not believe or have that conviction or have that faith that her daughter was going to be able to excel, was going to be able to learn? That child probably would have never gone as far as she went. She probably wouldn't be in school. She probably wouldn't have went to work. She probably would have settled, because she would have accepted the label that someone else had placed on her child. But she had faith. She exercised her faith. She didn't just believe, she had the faith. And I know a lot of people want to use faith and belief interchangeably. Belief is something that you pretty much, you accept that something is the way that it is. But faith is more of like you put it into action in terms of what you actually are convicted, what you're believing it to be, what you're actually seeing it to become. It's like more of an action type of word. So I wanted to kind of point out a couple of scriptures, and you probably all know about Hebrews 11:1, when it says, when Paul talks about, and I'm going to read it to you right quick in my little handy blue book here. It says, and I should know this by heart as much as I say. It said, I know faith is the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things not seen. Now, the girl's mother didn't see that her child was doing anything outside, but she just knew that her child could learn. But she took that action to make it go forth. So she exercised her faith. Paul also quotes, and I'm quoting him, in 2 Corinthians 5:7, it says, "For we walk by faith and not by sight." So faith is when you don't see what's going to happen, but you know that's going to happen. And I think on the last time I talked about, a lot of times we have faith in the wrong things. We have faith in people, and we shouldn't put our faith in people. Our source should be faith in God. Okay? So if you have any experiences about faith, you might think that you're not using your faith, but you're using your faith in so many different ways. But the key point is that you should exercise your faith, and your faith source should be God. Thanks for joining in, and I look forward to bringing more episodes to you in the future. Take care. Bye.